Welcome to 2026. This is my list of my top 10 most anticipated movies for this new year. And since this is, of course, a Blu ray by Benson, I want to bring out a few selections from the collection to help emphasize the connection between a few of these, have some fun with it. Starting us off at number 10, we have Supergirl, the follow up to last year's Superman, continuing into James Gunn's new DC universe. I love these superhero movies, of course, so gotta throw in a few of them. And this looks like a fun world so far. I put this one lower down because, one, I'm not a big fan of Craig Gillespie's work. I've only seen a little bit of it, and it doesn't seem to lend toward a fun sci fi adventure sort of thing. He can prove me wrong, and I look forward to that. Also, the trailer didn't look that captivating. I hope to be proved very wrong, and I'm sure I'll enjoy it well enough, but it just doesn't make it higher on the list. But top 10 is still great to have in there. I think Millie Alcock is a great pick for the role. She looks like the rebellious teenager that they're going for right there. I like how it's going to definitely grow the universe in some big ways. And obviously, this is just the second installment in this new series going on. And so, plenty of room to grow, but also a good launch pad to help keep it connected to the only other movie we've had, while also bringing it in a somewhat different direction and reminding fans that Superman and Supergirl are way different characters in a lot of ways. Coming in at number 9, we have Coyote versus Acme. This is the only Looney Tunes related movie I have, so putting Space Jam 2 on there. Coyote versus Acme have gone through a ton of issues trying to get to theaters, get out of production, and I've heard a lot of great things from people who are involved in it and sources online. I hope this movie is as good as a lot of people are saying. I think it's a cool premise for the classic Coyote Roadrunner character to be going against the big Acme Corporation and sort of taking as this legal drama with lots of adventure and comedy to it, as you expect from a Looney Tunes adventure. We obviously haven't had much from the Looney Tunes in quite a while. I'm hoping for greatness from this one, and am looking forward to, as there's more promotional marketing material, to get a better sense of what this movie's really like. My number 8 most anticipated is Hoppers. Obviously, had to grab Bugs Life because, get it, the villain in this is Hopper. Oh well, it's a good classic Pixar there, and glad to see another original property from them. This one looks a little more fun, lighthearted, good family fare going on there. I love the idea of just animal adventure with a person becoming an animal, and they even make a nice Avatar reference in there, which people say it has no cultural impact. Well, Disney's making sure it has at least a little bit there after 17 years of its existence. But yeah, this looks like a fun one. Once we know a little more, this may raise on my list because I'm optimistic of it, but also the director has very little directing experience. It's got a great voice cast in there, so plenty to look forward to there, but I could envision this one being higher as the year goes on and we know a little more about it. My number 7 pick is How to Rob a Bank, the new movie from David Leitch. I've loved a lot of his previous movies, including Bullet Train, Deadpool 2, Fall Guy. He's got a great filmography and is really one of the high echelon of people when it comes to modern stunt work. He's had such a rich filmography in bringing action to the big screen. And this year is the first year in which the Oscars have an Achievement in Stunts award. And so I think we're going to get some great showcase going on there. I love the idea of a heist movie from him. Sounds like a great idea. And I'm always interested in where he's going next because I feel like he really knows how to do good stunts, but also has a nice weaving of story. Bullet Train is underrated for its storytelling of how it took multiple narratives and put them all together. Hoping for some great stuff from this one as well. Coming in at number 6 is The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender. This is the first movie that we've had from Avatar Studios where they're giving us another adventure from the whole gang all coming back together to do some adventure. There's a lot not known about this movie, and that's why it's not higher on my list. Big fan of Avatar. I think there's so much richness to build off of. I would have had this be higher. This was a real toss-up for me because there's so little known about it yet. It's been announced for a little bit. We've had like some concept art stuff going around, and seems like a fine cast. Dave Bautista is coming in as the villain, but it's nice to see them taking this to the next adventure for these characters. We know we're going to get a later series of a completely new era for this world, but so glad to see these guys coming back. I'm just a little worried because recently there's been, seems like a lack of confidence from Paramount about it. They announced recently that they're taking it down to only be a streaming release and not have any theatrical version of it, which, looking at the box office right now, people love seeing Avatar in theaters. Obviously a different thing, but you get what I'm saying there. Uh, they're not even riding that momentum of people talking about any Avatar. And also, there's just so little known about it. I wish we had a trailer or a better plot synopsis to be able to judge where this show is going to go. But I trust the creators. They're all involved. And I think this thing can have a lot of potential and really bring the fans back to loving the Four Nations and wherever they're going to take this new story. All right, bringing in my top 5, we have The Mandalorian and Grogu. It's tough to figure out exactly what Star Wars one I wanted to hold up at this point, since I don't own any of the Mandalorian shows. This one is a tough one for me because I love Star Wars. The Mandalorian show has been great. The trailer did not capture me that well. I'm very excited to see it, of course. It'll be wonderful to see the galaxy far, far away in theaters again. But it didn't seem that appealing. There's a lot of question about where this is even going, what the plot is. I expect that upcoming trailers will be able to tell us a little more about what we can expect there. But for now, I'm excited for it by dint of Star Wars and that The Mandalorian has been consistently at least good. And it's been quite a while. I think 2019 was the last time we had a Star Wars project in theaters. Obviously, Mandalorian and Grogu are very popular. I expect they'll really try to put some big heavy hitters in this one to really bring the fans. So I'm not too worried necessarily, just nothing's fully captured me to put this a little higher. I could have easily seen a Star Wars project being in my top 3, much higher on this list, but for now, I am optimistic and excited to see where these stories are going to take us. Next up, my number 4 is Toy Story 5. Never expected we were going to get to Toy Story 5. And it's one of those where you always doubt the next one's going to be that good because the current series is just such a nice contained package. But they've never disappointed. The first one was such a groundbreaking achievement in animation and storytelling. Obviously, classic, endearing characters. So much so, some of the greatest in all animation or even just cinema in general. Toy Story 2 was an amazing sequel that outdoes the original in many ways. 3 wrapped up the trilogy well, and 4 was a nice extension that I was pleasantly surprised by and gave us new things from Bo Peep and development of new characters and show how rich this world is. I expect great things from 5. I have no doubt Pixar has exceeded us every sense of the way. It is the greatest animated series of movies that we have. And so, oh, that is so wrong. The Spider-Verse movies are the best. But at this point, there's only 2 of them, so it's hard to know how far it is. We have 4 of these. That's double. So Toy Story is such a staple of quality. And I'm so excited to see how this is going to develop. Where's it going to go? And just looking forward to seeing our old friends back together on screen, however that happens. Well, before closing out the list, I wanted to throw in a few honorable mentions to include. First one is Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping, the new prequel connecting things together. It happens after the Songbirds and Snakes prequel that happened earlier, introducing Snow into it, and happening a while later into it. I love the cast for this movie. It's cool to see how they're putting things together. Jesse Plemons being in there is so perfect. There's such great casting all throughout it, and the Hunger Games movies are fine, but never one of my favorites, so it wasn't in the top 10. Next up is the next movie from Gore Verbinski. He, of course, has done Lone Ranger, Pirates of the Caribbean, Rango, a few others, and he's doing a new movie called Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. I always have a tough time remembering that. I love so much of his action and how he puts together set pieces. He has a great directorial style for these things. The trailer looks intriguing with Sam Rockwell as some dude from the future. coming in to try to recruit some people. My problem is it doesn't seem to show any of the elements that I love from Gore Verbinski. So I'm worried this could be a different style from him and not really what I'm loving him for. And so we'll see where this is able to take us. Hoping for some great stuff there. There's plenty that's not shown in the trailer, of course. So I expect it to be better than it's looking like at this point, but it is yet to show that there are multiple really stellar action set pieces, and that's just what I'm here for a Gore Verbinski movie for. Next one is Jumanji 4 or Jumanji 3, depending on how you see it. I don't know if it even has a subtitle yet. We had Welcome to the Jungle and The Next Level. Pretty sure this one's untitled at this point, but they're always pretty solid, pretty fun, great cast, of course, and a premise that's easy to make several off of. So I expect this one will also be a lot of fun, and looking forward to seeing how this one goes. Then my next one that I'm throwing in as a honorable mention is the Super Mario Galaxy movie. This is supposed to be adapting the Galaxy game or games. I didn't get that much into the newer Mario games. I enjoy them well enough, but I don't know the lore that well. And the other movie was very good, just not like amazing. And so I hope for this one to be great, but it just doesn't crack the top 10 in there. And the last one, of course, Dune Part 3, Dune Messiah. Not sure which one they've landed on as the title. I don't yet own the Dune movies, largely because if you're making a trilogy and I don't own the previous two, I'll just wait to own the entire box set in there. So make it nice and easy. But obviously, Denis Villeneuve has done a great job of adapting these for the big screen. They look amazing in IMAX. They're not like my favorites. They seem to have some pacing issues. Sure, fans will hate me for a lot of not loving them as much. They are some of my favorites from each of the years they're released, but just not something that I'm super excited for yet. Obviously, they're very confident in it since it's not willing to budge from the release date, even with an Avengers movie there. So, see what happens. Maybe we'll get Doomsday coming up for that nice combo there. But I'm sure it'll be an amazing spectacle on the big screen and definitely one that people should be looking forward to. All right, getting close to the end here, we have The Odyssey coming out in July. It already, well, maybe not at this point, it was the highest grossing movie of 2026 for several months going in since they did IMAX ticket sales a full year early there. Obviously, it's a Christopher Nolan movie. I love Christopher Nolan. He's been a little bit hit and miss recently. I've loved some of his recent stuff, but some of his has been not up to the quality I'm looking for, not the style there. A little more questionable and not as certain that it'll be one that I'll love. But The Odyssey looks like such a great take from him that is taking this classic story, something that we all know the essence of, but maybe not the particulars. And it's cool to see him go back into a big mythos, similar to his Batman movies, but this one being just like one of the classic works of fiction ever, and giving a new modern adaptation of it. Obviously, the cast is stellar beyond belief. Such major hitters in there. I almost don't want to name them because, like, I'm certain I'll miss people. You know, you got Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, John Bernthal, Tom Holland, so many others in there. I'm sure I could, if I really thought about it, I could come up with some more. Uh, I'm not fully sold on the trailers yet. We've had some different promotional material out there, and none of them really captured me. They look not as grand of scale as what I'm expecting, but of course, this thing's going to be amazing to see on the IMAX big screen. I'm sure it'll be amazing and something that will do the original tale justice. Just looking forward to how Nolan is going to capture that and if it's going to be one that I will truly love, like some of his older films, like The Prestige, The Dark Knight, Inception. There's some older ones that I just adore so much, and I'm hoping that this lives up to that quality that we have seen to expect from this amazing legendary director now. Coming in at number 2 is Spider-Man Brand New Day. Everything about this movie looks so good. I've loved the way they've been marketing it so far, that they've had it so that Tom Holland himself is out there swinging in the streets. It's got Destin Daniel Cretton as the director. coming in from doing Shang-Chi previously for the MCU. And so he knows how to get stunt work right, get a really tactile feel to the action for our web slinger hero there. It's a great follow-up that we're finally seeing what's going on with the Scorpion character who was teased at the end of Homecoming almost a full decade ago. And so everything just looks so perfect for that. I could easily see this being my favorite movie of the year if they play their cards right. I love Spider-Man so much. All of them, I enjoy those movies, and it's so good to see him on the big screens. So much to love here, but moving on. And rounding out the list is my most anticipated movie of 2026. It's, of course, got to be Avengers Doomsday. Finally, a lot of tease toward this over the past few movies, and gotta say, I'm a fanboy. I love the Avengers movies. They are some of my favorites of all time. But the marketing for this has been rather disappointing. Like, it's odd to put this at the top when the marketing has been so bad, whether it's the early announcement of Downey coming back in this other role, the weird chair announcement kind of thing, the trailers teasing stuff but not telling us much about it. Obviously, all the lead in from the previous movies having so little to do with it. I'm just a little concerned, and I hope this thing is amazing. I trust Marvel, I trust the Russo brothers. I think it'll be an amazing product, but also be something that will make so much of the last like several years from Marvel feel inconsequential. That many of these projects I could probably name off the top of my head like 7, 8, 9 projects that probably will have nothing to do with Doomsday that have come out since Endgame. But I'm hoping they make a well-contained story and something that helps to tie things together while also being expansive and utilizing these characters well in the way that we just love from comic book movies. That there are so many classic characters in here, bringing back the Fantastic Four, the X-Men finally being there, Doctor Doom as this amazing villain that we know he can be, and obviously so many of the original Avengers characters of Thor, Ant-Man, Captain America, so many others coming back to be part of this. I'm so excited for it. Every piece of news, I'm on the edge of my seat, but a lot of the news has been somewhat concerning, so I'm looking forward to as the marketing ramps up and I can feel more confident about this one, or potentially just mix things around and put it where it needs to be on my ranking. There's a lot of good movies this year, and so this will be a good year to hit the theaters and enjoy some great stories being shown on the big screen.